Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Stasia Bliss. We are doing the reading for Aries, the general reading for Aries. So we're going to begin. I'm going to use some different cards today, so this should be exciting. Let's begin with clearing the space. Clearing the previous energies from the cards, and also opening to Spirit a channel for wisdom for our Aries out there, sun, moon, rising, wherever you find Aries in your chart, or again, you're wanting to just look at the energy of Aries in the collective right now as Chiron is moving still in Aries. And it's all about person, identity, self, the initiative, the beginning. It's like the Fool card in your life where you have these beginnings. So I'm going to use the Qi Vesta, which I explained in my Divine Union video, I think the second one. Breath of Sacred Relationships. So if you haven't watched that one, check it out. We'll tell you a little bit more about it, but it's utilizing 4 decks, and they each have 36 cards, and they have some kind of a wheel on them. They are using concepts of more unity consciousness. So I'm going to pull for the Aries a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual concept that is going to support Aries during this week. So whenever you find this is for the week. So we're going to begin with a shuffle. This is going to be a little bit shorter reading than doing like a whole tarot oracle. But these are really neat. I really like these concepts. I think you're going to like them too. Came through one of my teachers, Almine. She's got some incredible metaphysical stuff out there, courses and videos, and that's where I studied internal alchemy. Lots of incredible books. Okay, so for the Aries, what is the best physical support? So in the 3D realm, there it is. So the card is releasing attachments. What a perfect thing to have at this time of year. So check out that interesting artwork, releasing attachments. See how that image relates. Maybe you're the circle, and some of these lines that have been attachments are leaving the circle. Just one thought. Releasing attachments, card 25. This is a spiritual experience. It says, as conduits, and this is the deeper meaning, take what resonates, right? As conduits for the flow of infinite resources, we should view ourselves as custodians rather than owners. So, in the concept of oneness, we're all connected in the physical realm, Aries, maybe where you've been holding on to something as mine, which is a very adolescent, like the early stage of development, which Aries also represents. I'm not saying you're adolescent, I'm just saying the early stage of development for every human goes through the Aries portal, which is that me and mine and I. So this is taking to the next level as conduits for infinite resources, because we should view ourselves as custodians, caretakers rather than owners, making it easier for in the physical to release attachments. Okay. I got this matcha latte at this place in town called Gourmandies, and it was very strange, and I probably should have asked more questions, but sometimes I just think the universe is smiling on me. And I ordered a matcha latte with coconut milk, and it came to the window, and the window was literally so far away I could barely reach the woman. I was as close as I could have driven there. It was a strange curve. And I go to hand her my debit, and she hands me the drink and says, "It's on us today." And I was like, okay. Normally I would have been like, why? Tell me why. But in that moment, I just felt like, okay, like the universe is giving me a free drink. So if anything happens to me, these guys. Anyway, when we release attachments to the outcome, and if you watched my earlier video today, I had a car problem. And so I was waiting for a tow truck for like an hour and a half, and this is why I'm later to these videos today. But I just was like, well, universe, whatever is going to happen is going to happen, however long it's going to take. Like, I surrender, and I'm just here getting a suntan. But a nice, tow truck driver who was very late but very cordial. Got connected to a cool mechanic. My car is there now. But anyway, like, releasing attachments in the physical world can bring great rewards, like free beverages. I have no idea. That's my interpretation. So that's an Aries sort of thing. So it might be in places that maybe you have previous wounds, since Chiron is an Aries. So, I mean, I have had a lot of cars break down and had a lot of bad experiences with cars or paying for cars in the past. But I find that I'm in a pretty good place right now. And so it didn't really stretch me out. And I was able to just go, well, whatever, it's going to be what it's going to be. And so that is a representative of how that might show up, releasing attachments. Okay, this is the mental component, Aries. The mental component, card 30, which is a 3. Assistance from the unseen. I haven't been reading, guys, the Lemurian language on here, but maybe some of you will like that. Salvasut krihaves atar. And the first one was litrahut meseba pishpech parnut. Assistance from the unseen. So now we're in the mental realm, Aries. Assistance from the unseen. So this is your guidance for the mental this week. There's 2 parts of this, because the deeper concept kind of takes you into a different thing altogether. So first, I want you to look at the image, see what jumps out for you. Assistance from the unseen. Interesting little flower drawing. Okay, the deeper concept says, when loved ones succumb to death, we may not be able to communicate between realms, but we can within the oneness of our being. Death cannot separate that. That hits me home, since recently losing my father. I do know that he lives in me, and I can connect with him inside myself in the inner recesses. So assistance from the unseen, Aries, also might speak of loved ones who have passed, who are helping you and giving you advice if you just tune in and listen. So calm the chattery mind, maybe a little meditation, and allow those messages to come in. And it may be about things you need to release, right, on the physical realm. So this is the emotional advice for Aries, on the emotions. And remember, Mars is in Cancer right now. Cancer is a very emotional sign. Mars is usually like our action in the world, masculine, warrior energy, but in this very watery sign, emotions can feel a little heated. So it's good to, let the mind lead a little bit more. In this case, if you watched the equinox reading the other day, intuition was coming up a lot. Okay, so the emotional support Aries could use during this time. Spirit. Okay. Well, I think there's 2 here. There's 3 here. Yeah, this Cancerian energy can be really tough in this Aries sign, which is very fiery, right? Aries rules Mars, so Mars is not really happy in Cancer. Okay, so the first one is solitude brings greatness. Aruk Mesh Halasvi. Solitude brings greatness. I don't know what that looks like to y'all, but to me it looks like the sun coming up through like a flower and like all these dancing somethings on there. Surrendering to the solitariness of finding that there is no being other than ourselves transitions us to the eventual fullness of knowing ourselves to be all things. This goes back to the divine union conversation. I am another you. Recognizing the self in all others, that there's just this oneness, right? That doesn't mean there's not individuality, but you could see that each person is within you. You are within each person, right? So using that in your emotional body this week to be like, hey, put myself in the person's shoes, recognize they are an aspect of me, whatever's coming up, right? Okay, next one, confidence in beneficial outcomes. Card 6, Kuvich balanustahik prava. Confidence in beneficial outcomes. What does that look like? So interesting. It says, nothing has ever been out of control in life. It just seems so from our small vantage point. Wow. This almost now makes me think of like little, live things in a petri dish. Like they don't know what's going on. They're like, oh my gosh, our life's out of control. But the person in the lab that's working with the dish knows what's going on. It's not out of control, but to the maybe little wormy things in the dish, it seems like things are really messed up, So same with us, like emotionally, Aries, it may feel like things are out of control, maybe like ultra emotional, but taking a bigger vantage point picture of the whole thing, like backing out to see how things might actually be going, in the right way. And the third one is let all come to you. Ooh. Mars likes to go. Aries energy likes to go, go, go. But the Cancerian energy is like, I'm just going to stay home. I'm just going to nurture. I'm just going to take a bath, right? And in that nurturing, if you've ever found, and I have, this is a very powerful thing, in giving to yourself, in surrendering to self-love, suddenly like you draw in, you become the receptive, things come to you. So the Lemurian is Sattva, Selvanus, Hunus, and it says, there is no point of origin or arrival. There's no need for haste or striving when life is seen from this eternal perspective. Some might be like, whoa, 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 Stasia, that sounds like being lazy. But it's different, right? It's different when you turn and you recognize the present moment and you allow yourself to be in the present moment, which this card is saying. Emotionally, allow yourself to be with what is, right? And get into like a receiving stance, even like this, or like this. Well, that can feel like giving too, but receiving. So things can come to you. So you're not blocking by too much pushing or acting, right? There's a time to act. All right, now we're going to do it on the spiritual level for Aries in the collective. What is the advice on the spiritual level for a general reading? Remember, you can get your own personal reading. If I do a personal reading, you actually get 8 cards instead of 4, and I draw a special sigil. So if you're interested in doing your own Qi Vesta reading, these cards are really powerful. They can shift circumstances really fast. Okay, collectively for Aries, we get card 36, the last card in 144, the final alchemical number, which is also a 9, completion, and it says life from an eternal perspective. So again, going back to your emotional things, backing out, get the bigger picture. Meshanesh, Mishavetvi, Herasut is the Lemurian. All that has gone before has brought you to the perfection of the moment, Aries, the beginning of timelessness and the birthplace of eternal life. The beginning of timelessness. Let this week be for you the beginning of timelessness. Take a moment today to pause and receive what is right now in front of you. Release attachments to the old. Listen to the silent whispers from the unseen, right? The ancestors, listen. And let things come to you. This is your time. This is your time. All right, Aries, I love you so much. Blessings to you. We'll see you next week. And don't forget to check out my other content. And also your opposite sign, Libra, will have some flip side to this whole thing. All right? Much love.